What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching David Haye versus Joe Fournier, and this was an 8-rounder in the heavyweight division. And this fight was Saturday, September 11th, from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. And this fight was broadcasted on Fight TV. And in this fight, David Haye was able to get a unanimous decision victory over Joe Fournier. I had the bout scored 79-72 in favor of Haye, and I did agree with two judges who also scored the bout 79-72, and the third judge scored the bout 80-71 in favor of Haye. And as you can see from the scorecards, it was pretty wide in favor of Haye. And just to break down the fight, in the first round, David Haye did score a knockdown. Well, it was obviously on paper a knockdown, a 10-8 round for him, but it looked like it was a slip. Haye barely landed a jab to the nose area of Fournier. Fournier went down, and I believe the commentators reviewed it, and they did say it should have been a slip. But yeah, it was obviously stated as knockdown because Florida does not have that replay rule like Nevada does. So yeah, that's a 10-8 round for David Haye. And the only other round I gave to Fournier was round 2, where he did land a decent right hand in the clinch. Well, just approaching the clinch with David Haye. And, yeah, I mean, most of the fight was very boring. And I know they were building this fight up like they were friends. They sparred before, and they really fought like friends. I mean, when Haye was really just running away with the fight and actually could have stepped on the gas and got a stoppage, I mean, he really could have. Fournier was just leaving his chin open, and we all know Haye has power if you watched him before. And, yeah, I think he could have stopped him if he legitimately fought. It didn't look like he really was. Normally, Haye's the guy who fights at mid-range, tries to come forward, throw punches. I know he's 40 years old, but, yeah, I mean, he really was tentative here because he probably didn't want to hurt a buddy of his. But, yeah, he was just jabbing and countering from the outside. Fournier was coming forward, and this was like every single round, except obviously that second and the first with that knockdown. Haye was just getting out of the way of Fournier's punches, jabbing, moving, landing check hooks, and he wasn't really putting too much power behind those shots as well. And Fournier, he just looked kind of sloppy when he was throwing his punches, left his chin wide open to a David Haye right hand, but Haye obviously didn't throw any of them. But, yeah, David Haye got the unanimous decision victory. The scorecards were pretty good. I could have saw any of them, whether it be like 7 rounds to 1 or 8 rounds to 0. I thought he won this clear. And I'm not really too sure if this really counted because BoxRec did not have this bout in their system leading up to the fight. But like I saw a couple days ago it was. And when David Haye's arm was raised, the Fight TV broadcast had David Haye's new record from getting this victory. So, I mean, I honestly don't know, as I mentioned before, if it really counts towards his record. I assume not, considering BoxRec does not have the bout in their system, as I mentioned before. But what is next for David Haye? I could say the same for both fighters. David Haye's 40, Fournier is 38. I don't see any of them fighting again. Fournier, I believe, is 9-0 or was 9-0. I'm not really too sure, as I mentioned before, if this really counted. That was around his record, maybe 8-0, 10-0, somewhere around there. And David Haye, as most of you guys know, had a record of 28-4 with 26 knockouts, two-weight world champion, cruiserweight and heavyweight. I just can't see them fighting again. Because this guy Fournier, I don't see him beating anybody. I know he already fought on that YouTube card with Jake Paul and Ben Askren in April. That was a real fight, but it was against some singer or something or some other athlete. I'm not really too sure what the guy was. But, yeah, I just can't see these guys fighting in a competitive bout again. And, yeah, I don't really want to see David Haye again after this performance. I mean, it wasn't too exciting as most of David Haye's fights were. I mean, obviously in the professional ranks. So, overall, David Haye defeats Joe Fournier by wide unanimous decision. And, yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.